What's up, Guy here? I was in graduate school. I was for psychology. I was focusing on trauma. I knew I wanted to focus on trauma. I was fortunate in my second year of graduate school to get into sensory motor psychotherapy training. I went on to do level 1 and level 2. Phenomenal teachers in there. I was fortunate to be a student in with Janina Fisher, and it was amazing. It was eye-opening. It was exactly what I was looking for, and I was excited to utilize everything I was learning. In one of my internships, I was in a school. I was a therapist in a school for young kids who had behavioral challenges. Many of them had autism of varying degrees. And I was working with one young kid. He must have been about 10 or 11 years old. And just a broken family. Dad was out of the picture, was living with his mom. I think he might have had a sibling. And he wanted to go out during our sessions, go outside, throw the frisbee around, throw the football around. There was a kind of a tetherball thing where you would hit it and the ball would swing around the pole. And I didn't want to do that at all. I wanted to go into the office, and I wanted to utilize everything I was learning. And I look back on it now, and I can say that I was a young quote unquote, a new clinician at the time, didn't know what I was doing, and yes, that in part is true. But I wasn't very young. I went back to school as a non-traditional student. I was 35, 36, 37 maybe. So I didn't have that excuse. I would throw the football around or the baseball around with this young guy, and sometimes he would talk, sometimes he wouldn't. I would always try to get him to talk. I was always trying to do something and trying to, looking back on it now, fit this square peg into a round hole, trying to make something happen, trying to look for an opening. Oh, I could maybe use this intervention or get him to talk about this or that. And man, it's so crazy. At the end of the year, and this went on for a year, and I would talk to my supervisor, and she would encourage me to play football or basketball with this young guy, and I just didn't hear it. At the end of the year, the kids got together, and they thanked their therapist. And I remember when this young kid, they all presented their therapist with a framed picture of them and their therapist. And when this young guy thanked me, he just said, "Thank you, Mr. Guy." He called me Mr. Guy. "Thank you, Mr. Guy." And he handed me this picture, and it was me and him, and it was framed. And on the back, it said, and I read it. It said, "Thank you, Mr. Guy, for always being there. I know I wasn't the best patient or client all the time, and I know I always didn't do what you wanted me to do, but I was always listening to you." And man, that broke my heart, because I wasn't listening. I was trying to do something. I was trying to interventionalize him. I was trying to, use all this knowledge I had and all the skills instead of just friggin' being there and trusting that my wanting to be there, my presence, not that I'm some, God and whose presence is going to help this kid, but just being there in that sense, literally being there, listening, shutting up and listening, being curious, really being curious. And I wasn't. I mean, to a certain degree I was, but I wasn't as much as I should have been. And that, is such a lesson. I mean, I'm thinking about it now because it's about self-trust and honoring who we are, right? Until we do that, I think we can't just be. It seems so simple, but we screw it up. I screwed it up. Oh man. All right. Have an awesome day.